Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hunter Hale, and today I will be presenting to you my idea for a new restaurant in Serenity Hills, California. Since Serenity Hills is a relatively new and growing city in California, it needs some good restaurants to define it as a new and up-and-coming town. Something that is going to make it really stand out to tourists and attract them. So, with this new addition, granted your guys' loan, of this restaurant called Wontong's, and I'm just going to write this up on the board so we can remember that. Implied by the name Wontong's, we will serve Asian American fusion culinary food. So, that means very Asian twists on American contemporary classics. Hamburgers, mac and cheese, hot dogs, all that stuff will be given a very delectable Asian twist with our high quality chefs back in the kitchen. So, we're going to put that up on the board too so we can remember that. The next point is that Wontong's will be a sole proprietorship. So I will be making all the financial and big business decisions without any outside influence. So we'll throw that up on the board too. The final point of my idea is that with the approval of your loan, Wontong's will be open and operational on March 3rd, 2016. So that'll go up on the board as well. So, with these 4 main points, we have finished our idea section of this proposal. Now we'll be moving to the leader. Okay, so talking about the leader, which is myself, I decided to bring you guys to basically my job away from home. This is my kitchen, where I cook for my friends and family, and the reason why I decided to make Wontong's a family-style restaurant. So, as you bring the families in, our chefs cater to them. They're cooking outside in the patios, grilling, so everybody can watch them making this delicious food that they're eating, and it just becomes this really awesome atmosphere where everybody feels like they're really being catered to. So as I've been in this business for 15 years, I've been working in food trucks, fine dining, American contemporary, and all these different types of genres, and I've really found that Asian barbecue speaks to me the most. That's why I decided to make Wontong's an Asian fusion barbecue. To combine 2 great flavors, contemporary American food and Asian food, really speaks to me as a chef. And working for 15 years, I've refined my skills, and I know that I will be able to come up with recipes that the customers will really, truly enjoy. Ma'am, as a community member of Serenity Hills, California, do you feel that the restaurant scene is up to par with other beach towns in California?
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think it would be great if you had an Asian fusion place, though.
Okay, that's good to know. Sir, what do you think of the beachfront restaurant situation in Serenity Hills? Do you think it's up to par with other places?
Well, you know, all the places here are okay, but I mean, I'm just getting really tired of eating the taco time tacos. I could really use some Asian fusion place.
Sounds good. So, sir, how do you feel about the restaurant situation in Serenity Hills, California?
Well, I don't know. I don't think it's very good. You know, I just went for a run, and I'm looking for a healthy alternative. I was looking for some Asian spring rolls, and but all I can find is fast food as far as the eye can see.
Sounds good. Serenity Hills is a very quaint little beach town in California. It has a ski area located very close near, so therefore, a booming business due to its ski town-like persona will be during the winter seasons, where people will be skiing. And another time where a business will be up or booming will be during the summer, when people are playing on the beach and having a good time, due to our restaurant being right on that beachfront. So, with all of this information, we've decided to staff a little heavier in those up seasons, and the time right before the up seasons, in the very late fall and the very early spring, is when we'll kind of understaff and more struggle to keep alive, but in the point where we can still make a profit. And so, this is how our community is affecting our business. Due to the fact that we're such a big hotbed of activity, we'll be big for tourist attractions. So with the paragliding, with the water skiing, with the skiing in the winter, and all that kind of stuff, people will be coming to Serenity Hills just to come and have fun for the weekend. Therefore, Wontons shall be a restaurant that will attract these tourists into coming and spending their money there. Another big part is that we have to deal with local competitors, such as Taco Time or the Blue Dahlia, or even McDonald's, which is a fast food restaurant, but they will steal some of our business away during lunch hours. And those are our direct competitors because they're food service for dinner and lunch, that kind of stuff. We also have to think about our indirect competitors, such as Sweet Thing Bakery, Ivy League Beans, You Brew, those kind of places. Since Wontons is on the beachfront, I chose the section on the beachfront by the high school, which is also where they hold the farmers markets. So I can make specials for the customers, very catered to their, especially how I'm feeling every day, to make great specials that they'll enjoy. Also, I'm choosing to purchase the building for Wontons instead of lease it, due to the fact that I would like to own my own equity in it. Owning your own equity gives you some control over if you need to sell, you make some money, and therefore, that is my justification for purchasing the building. As you can see, we're standing in what we will be modeling the basement for Wontons after. We have a lot of space to keep extra food, our freezers, that kind of stuff where we don't need to access very quickly. Also, our patio chairs, which you can see right here, kind of a rough model of how we keep them stored. Our heating and vending and coolation shafts that run all through the restaurant and the floor. This is kind of what we're going after, that look where we have a lot of space down here. We have an employee hangout area, so for breaks, between shifts, they need to sit down and relax and watch some TV. That's great. And all this kind of stuff, extra microwaves, all that stuff we're kind of storing down here, or we will be. This is what we're modeling and after for our restaurant. And therefore, kind of makes the site a little bit more like a place where employees would like to come and be before and after shifts. In addition to the basement part of Wontons, our other alterations to the building will be the kitchen, the patio, and the dining room. In the kitchen, we are setting up many different sections for different chefs. So there will be a giant fridge unit, be able to store all the food we need. There will be a grill, a giant grill in the kitchen, and 2 big grills on the outside, which will have chefs at to kind of show off for the customers, show off the food that we're making. We'll also have saute stations, we'll have salad bar stations, all in the kitchen with our chefs making them. As for the dining room, we will have tables in the dining room as well as a very nice antique bar we've purchased. Along with that, we'll have our wait staff with all our needs for that. So in our next section, we'll talk about kind of all the napkins and stuff like that. But right now, we'll talk about the patio as well. In the patio, we have seating for outdoors with floodgates to make sure that none of the beach, like water, say any minor disasters like a small flood occurred, none of that water would get into our patio in there for our restaurant due to the fact that we've spent a little extra money to make sure that we have flood-proof patio seating. And that wraps up our talking about the facilities. When it comes to the product and service, the food and that we have to be selling has to be top-notch. Our customers have to love it. So, we've gotten in contact with Shamrock Foods, our most well-known distributor since I've been in the business for 15 years. I have worked with them a lot and they tend to get us the best food quality that we can. So for our marketable inventory, we will be purchasing all that from Shamrock as a distributor, and they will be high-quality foods, high-quality meat, high-quality produce, all that stuff to make the food that we're giving to the customers perfect. As well as it goes for the consumer or the consumable inventory, our napkins, our salt shakers, that kind of stuff that we don't really sell to the customer. That will all come through Shamrock as well. And Local Linens, which is a business that we're buying our aprons and our napkins and our service towels, that kind of stuff from as well. And finally, a basic stock list can also be received upon request. We have that in store. Employees that we hire must be top-notch. We must not have any slackers, any people that aren't going to be working for the good of the restaurant. So, as my experiences preceded me, we have contacted 4 of my favorite chefs I've worked with in the past for them to come work in our kitchen. 5 of the best waiters I even know to come work as well. A great busboy and a great dishwasher that we've just hired and trained with our one-on-one training videos, and also a bartender to go along with that. All their wages are included on our employee page, If you wanted to look that up, that's how we're going to be paying them. These employees are willing to work as hard as they can to kind of bring our service to the next level. When it comes to marketing for our newfound business named Wontons, we kind of thought of some ideas that were very creative. We have our awesome TV ad, we have our great radio ad, we have a magazine ad. All of these showcase kind of how Wontons is willing to cater to your needs. Our slogan goes, "Simple Asian Barbecue." 3 words that really just stick in your head, make you think, wow, they really have refined it down to a fine science. And our trademark is 2 tongs, hence the name Wontons, crossed over. And this will be on our napkins, on our glasses you can purchase for ale at your own house. These kind of things kind of make us the restaurant that we are today. And our final part of this is our experiential marketing. That is actually our beach party luau, which we've planned, and we are going to kind of do a pig roast, which isn't done by very many restaurants, on the beach in front of our opening restaurant, with also very cool small bites of our appetizers and our entrees, so people can really feel that Wontons is going to be the best suited restaurant for our community. In addition to our other social marketing, we also have our social media. Our website can be found under www.wontonsbbq.weebly.com, and under Facebook you can find us under Wontons. This is how the public will address us through social media and find us. Another big thing to take into consideration when opening up a business is economic risk. Negative or positive, you need to know how to take advantage of those situations perfectly. First of all, with negative economic risks, you have to deal with and to start thinking about wage increase, tax increase, and seasonality and availability of foods. So, especially with the restaurant industry, wage always is increasing and varying. For servers, it depends on if you're putting tips into their wage, otherwise you have to pay them a certain minimum wage, and with chefs you have to pay them a certain amount, as well as busboys. All those need to be taken into account, and when the wage increases, we need to overcome that obstacle. So, we've put in kind of a system with our employees. They not only have to work to deserve and earn more hours, they have to work to show us that they deserve the hours they already have. So if they're not working up to par, they're going to get their hours cut. And they've all agreed to this through a contract, because that's why we've hired the best. They know what it's like to work in a restaurant, and they know how hard they have to work. Otherwise, when it comes to tax increase, there's nothing we can truly do about that, so we just have to sell as hard as we can and make sure that everybody is understanding that this restaurant is important to the community. With seasonality and availability of foods, we have to take into consideration what's around and what's available and what's good at that time. So, we've created a menu. Me and my 4 chefs have created a certain menu that kind of is compatible with 6 different types of protein to make sure that we have the best food in Serenity Hills all the time. Another big thing to think about for positive economic risks are things like product price drop and shipping price drop. Those things really affect how our food can get to our customers. If our products have been lowered in price, we can lower the price that we're selling it to the customers, therefore gaining repeat business. People that are saying, wow, I went to Wontons today, the food was cheaper than the Blue Dahlia or even Taco Time, and it was really good. The food was awesome. Therefore, they say, well, I'm going to go back next week, and tomorrow maybe even with my family. This creates repeat business that really helps us fuel a very strong economic stance in the community. Also, with shipping price drop, kind of the same concept applies. When the food that we're buying can be shipped for less, we can sell it for a less price point as well, and therefore showing that the customer is the same thing as the product price drop. These things are real positive economic risks that we have figured out how to deal with to an advantage. Point to think about is natural disasters and economic risks. So, as I mentioned earlier, with our patio, we have that flood protection system. That patio gate that is very watertight, making sure no water that might draw off the beach will get into our restaurant. This was a little bit extra money, but it was worth it in the milestone because we don't have to pay as much for insurance or anything like that because our business is protected. The cost of product percentage that we have figured out for our monthly revenue is about 4%, as well as the overhead percentage will be about 60%. So a total that's 64% that is being used by stuff we have to pay. Bills, utilities, the food that we're serving, that kind of stuff takes up, all fits into that 64%. As well as that means we're getting 36% in revenue. So we've done the math, and we think that our monthly revenue for our average will be around $400,000, which means that's taking a scale of our factor analysis of 8 to our factor analysis of 1. So our factor analysis of 1 is obviously going to be lower than that, but that means that the best is going to be way better. So that's kind of how we figured this out. One thing we have to take into consideration when selling our food is our product price range. Since we're in Serenity Hills, California, we can afford a little higher product price range, but not anything outrageous. 25 to 30 is a great price because the higher clientele of California can afford it, and people will be happy that it's even cheaper than stuff that's five-star fine dining, that kind of stuff. So that is how we kind of justified our entrees for our product pricing. Obviously, appetizers will be less, drinks will be less, all that stuff is less. That's just purely a price for the entrees. Finally, our cost for our total negative cash flow will come out to $0. From the first month, we've calculated out, so we'll be making a profit. That is an amazing start out for a restaurant. No debt, no worries about anything. We're immediately starting to make progress on our loan and everything like that. As these last parts are a little difficult to go over visually, we're going to go over them within the folder.